All right, tee shot for Mickelson.
This better be a forward.
Doesn't like this
ball
one.
Going way left, way left. Oh, what a bounce out into the rough to the right. But I don't think that'll leave him much.
Off of the hospitality tent.
I'll tell you what, right now Ben Hogan is officially rolled over in his grave. I cannot believe he didn't hit forward there.
Anything you can detect here, Johnny, from this swing?
It's just a classic. You don't release your right side, left side in his case. Comes down pretty good shape there. Maybe overswung a little. He's late coming into it. He releases probably 3 inches late, possibly because of nervousness and also overswinging. Face is open and out it goes.
While we wait, Roger, what about a report on Mickelson's situation in lie?
Well, it's out where the gallery has walked, so the lie is clean, and he does have some kind of an opening where he'd have to play a high, big slice, but he has the lie where he could try to play it from 210 yards. So let's see what happens. I can't imagine him pitching out, Johnny. I just can't see it.
I feel like I'm watching Seve Ballesteros.
So a par by Mickelson at 18 can win it. A bogey, we've got a playoff.
Well, I always thought precision golf was the key to winning U.S. Opens, but I guess I'm just getting old.
Well, it would almost be fitting if Mickelson scrambles out of this predicament to put away the U.S. Open, because that's the kind of week it's been for him.
That's 20 on 3 shot. Got a big dog. Let's do it.
Just joined us. Sapar wins the U.S. Open for Phil Mickelson. 7 o'clock here Eastern Time. Wingfoot Golf Club, 5th U.S. Open being staged here. Jeff Ogilvy of Australia has just posted +5 in the clubhouse. The leader there, but Mickelson's 4 could win it here. Tough spot from 210.
Caught an elm tree solid, and I believe it's gone backwards, and he still has got to be in a very bad situation, blocked out from the green.
Ogilvy might be signing the winning card.
Wow, you see the shock on his face right now. He knows he's hit a horrendous shot. Just look at this sullen look right there. It's like ashen look. Like he aged 5 years on that shot.
Monty let it slip away earlier. Mickelson
Hey
is on
guys,
the
about
cusp
10
of it.
yards back so I can see the pin, please. That whole group behind the tree. Behind the tree. Get behind the tree.
Does he have a shot, Roger?
Well, Johnny, he's trying to see the flag. For him to play on that line, he would have to keep the ball unbelievably low. I don't know how the shot could work out, really. But it may be all he has. I don't think he can play over the trees from here and get a shot at the green.
Is the lie just clean as a whistle, or is it sitting down? Is it good?
It's sitting down just a shade.
That last shot, did he hit that fat? It sounded like it was heavy.
It might have been. He certainly didn't get the altitude on it I thought he would.
I think he was trying to lift it. When you do that, your belly pops out and you hit it heavy.
Traveled about
it is down
25 yards is all it did after hitting the tree.
65 front. Okay. You thinking this or 9? Front edge. Thinking this or 9? Well, that makes it 73 over the false front. So I'm definitely not thinking 9 at all. Okay.
So where's he going to hit this, Roger? Right over everything?
He's got an 8, and he's going to try to hoist it up across these trees in front of him. He's going to have to get it up quickly.
Well, he's taking a chance to lose that open out right here if he doesn't pull us off. He doesn't make it through the trees. You know, he's going to lose the Open.
Remember, a bogey gets him in a playoff.
He could play for the playoff, you know. You don't have to go for the gusto here.
This is the third.
He's playing it forward.
Get up! Well, he's hit it very high, but way left. He's going to try to get it up and in from, well, it's got the front left bunker.
A fried egg in there. It is just implanted in that bunker, and Ogilvy has been watching all of it.
This is a nightmare right here. Absolutely. You couldn't have worse decisions than he's had, I think, on this hole. I don't care who you are. I know you all love Phil, but come on. You just got to make par on this hole. You could hit a 2-iron, 3-iron off the tee, another long iron onto the green, 2-putt, and say, see you later. You don't have to run down the last stretch on a white stallion. You know, you can limp in there and say thanks for the trophy.
Well, it is going to be some up and down that's going to need to be mated
when he sees this lie
to get into +5. I mean, it is just an awful lie.
Just crazy shot selection. I'm sure Jack Nicklaus is there in Florida and he's thinking, man, Phil. And Phil, I admire your smile right now, but I don't know how you're doing it.
Mickelson had a 2-shot lead with 3 holes to play.
I want to see the look on his face when he sees where that ball is. Man, he got a couple bad breaks on the lies, didn't he? Roger, can you hear me?
Yes, Johnny, I can hear you.
Is there a chance on this shot?
Well, if it were anybody other than Phil, I'd say no.
I mean, is it going to run right off the green, or can he?
It has a very real possibility of doing that if he gets it to the green. It's buried pretty good, all above his feet.
If he lands it just a little close, just onto the green, can he get it close? It's a wild scene right here.
It's pretty loud down there.
It's a wild scene. It's almost like a football game.
Going to take a hole out from the rough to force a playoff as Ogilvy looks on, getting closer and closer to making it official. Mickelson's going to have one last try. The runner-up at Bethpage in 02. A costly 3-putt a couple of years ago at Shinnecock. 99 was the last time he played, and the only time he played in the final group on a U.S. Open Sunday before today, and it looked like this championship was going to be his finally. He was going to continue on this march of sorts to either the Mickel Slam or the Grand Slam, but this is one shot left to see if we're going to continue that ride.
You got to be a little bit in shock, Roger.
Well, I would certainly think he has to be, Johnny. You know, I just don't know sometimes when I watch Phil play. I mean, it's always rambling, always gambling. And, you know, sometimes making bogeys good. You just got to take your medicine.
Well, it's a good time to pull on that wing foot magic that Norman had, that Jones had on this 72nd hole.
Well, feel the thrill. See if he can knock it in.
Jeff Ogilvy survives Winged Foot and wins the United States Open. When everybody came crashing down around him. Hugging his wife, Julie, a native Texan.
And to be honest with you, one of the worst collapses in U.S. Open history by Phil Mickelson.
You can't forget about what happened to Colin Montgomery as well.
Oh, man.
Came to 18, situated right out on the fairway, left his second shot short, ended up with a double bogey.
He can't believe it. He won. I mean, there was no way that he was going to get any better than a playoff.
Just the second Australian ever to win this championship. David Graham at Marion pulled it off 25 years ago in 1981.
Well, I said at the turn, you better start hitting some fairways, Roger. And you can't win this Open Championship missing every fairway but two.
Well, you're right. I don't know why he didn't throttle back more often and just try to get the ball in play, John. I just don't know why.
Well, I could see that going for it until 18, 72nd hole, but when you in that position, you just win ugly, baby.
Mickelson for double. And wouldn't you know it, it's going to be another runner-up finish for Phil Mickelson in a U.S. Open. Improbable, but it's happened again. Led by 2 with 3 to play. Play the last 3 holes in +3.
All that momentum he's built up in the last 2 majors, this one really hurts. He's never won the United States Open. He wanted it more than any other. He had it.
4 times a runner-up in this championship. Johnny now tied for the most in history. So many different storylines this week at Winged Foot. Johnny, the golf course, Bob talked about that. All the players, and we have been commenting it on all the week. We have asked Phil Mickelson to come out and chat with us.
I mean,
and he politely declined. Tough moment there with his wife, Amy.
I know how bad I feel about Phil's finish, and I can imagine what Phil feels. That was really an amazing collapse right there. You look at that.
No
there.
Disrespect to Ogilvy's win here today, but this will be remembered as much for that win as it is for the men who collapsed around him, and it's just not Montgomery and Mickelson who are on that list.
Yeah, Furyk, he 3-putts 15, and then he makes the double bogey at the last hole to finish at 6, 1 out of the playoff. Harrington finishes bogey, bogey, bogey to finish just out of the playoff by 2, and then of course Monty double bogeys the last hole to miss the playoff by 1 shot. Come on, you talk about the most unbelievable finish you'll ever see in championship golf. Jeff Ogilvy just hung on that up and in, the chip in, and then the up and in after being short of the green at 18 was awesome. Just
in
great.
that respect, he absolutely earned it. The executive producers of NBC Sports are Dick Ebersol and David Neal. Coordinating producer of NBC Sports is Sam Flood. Today's telecast produced by Tommy Roy. The telecast co-produced by Tom Randolph and directed by Bucky Gunts. Don't forget tomorrow night, it all comes down to this. Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final. 1 game for the most coveted trophy in all of sports. Coverage starts tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, 5 a.m. Pacific. Coming to NBC in a couple of weeks, it's the Championships Wimbledon as Roger Federer goes for a 4th consecutive title there. And he looks to take his place in history with Pete Sampras and Bjorn Borg as the only men to accomplish it in the open era. Coverage begins for tennis in Wimbledon Saturday, July 1st on NBC. And coming to NBC in a couple of weeks, don't miss Annika Sorenstam, Michelle Wie, and the world's best women at the U.S. Women's Open Championship. That's our next stop here on the NBC Golf Tour. Coverage begins July 1st at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. And coming up tonight, don't miss an all-new Dateline NBC, followed by the premiere of Treasure Hunters and Windfall. Take this opportunity to thank the fine men and women of our crew here, totaling nearly 200 who worked the long hours. We're blessed by good weather, but nonetheless, all the cameramen and women and all the support staff that we've had up here in the 18th tower as well. It's been a memorable week at Winged Foot, where Phil Mickelson had it in his sights, had the support of the New York crowds all week long, and it looked like Phil was going to win it, but in the end, Jeff Ogilvy comes out on top. Remember, we've got the Women's Open again in a couple of weeks, beginning Saturday, July 1st. And coming up tonight, don't miss an all-new Dateline NBC, followed by the premiere of Treasure Hunters and Windfall. For our entire crew here, Bob Costas, Johnny Miller, Gary Koch, Bob Murphy, Roger Maltby, Mark Wolfe, Dottie Pepper, and Jimmy Roberts. Dan Hicks saying so long from Wingfoot. Where the survivor is the Aussie from down under, Jeff Ogilvy.